Your nonprofit's lasting fundraising campaign can take on a remarkable and beneficial life of its own with an injection of intentional sweat equity and making it easy for your audiences to participate. And creating a campaign that is unique to your organization or ministry is right on the money when it comes to building brand equity and funding potential. To make sure we're on the same page, a campaign, in general terms, is a course of action that works in an organized and active way toward a particular goal. As an agency, we also strive to create campaigns that integrate well with all development and marketing tools and lend themselves to ongoing usage. Most often, these campaigns also feature a memorable campaign theme. So, in this Cahoots course, we're going to examine the components and then explore the different types of fundraising campaigns you can consider when creating your organization, ministry, or church's lasting fundraising campaign. Did anyone catch the name of the donor who gave us all these boxes filled with newspaper for the annual campaign? Do you think they'll want a tax receipt? If you've been in nonprofit or ministry fundraising for any length of time, you can relate to this. Generally, the best we can do when a donation arrives that has nothing to do with our fundraising campaign, you just shrug your shoulders and suggest they mean well and then recycle or regift. But it takes a good deal of energy and time to educate your current and potential donors about your ongoing annual fundraising campaign. And the goal of this course is to help you use this time wisely as it relates to establishing lasting fundraising campaigns for your organization, ministry, or even church that actually bring in consistent funding. First, let's take a look back at some of the noteworthy fundraising campaigns that have had staying power to help you get an idea of where the ideas started. The March of Dimes was started in 1938 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt as the National Foundation for Infantile Paralysis to fight polio, the disease that had paralyzed him. A key aspect of its early campaign was entertainer Eddie Cantor's March of Dimes campaign, which encouraged people to send their dimes to the White House to support the cause, a play on the newsreel The March of Time. It started on January 30th, 1938, FDR's 56th birthday. In a radio address on that day, Roosevelt announced the establishment of the foundation, explaining that the White House had been flooded with donations, mostly dimes, sent by ordinary Americans in response to his previous appeals. When the cure for polio was discovered, the March of Dimes continued but reshaped their goal to now address the health of babies and moms. So your campaign's goal can mean the end of the campaign, or as is the case with the March of Dimes, it is redefined and continued. The Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign started on Halloween night in 1950 in Philadelphia when a local Sunday school class collected coins in milk cartons to help children affected by World War II in Europe. This grassroots effort evolved into a major fundraising tradition with millions of children collecting donations for UNICEF's work to support vulnerable children worldwide. The first year's efforts raised $17, which was sent to UNICEF. The campaign grew to include children in other countries such as Canada, which launched its own Trick or Treat for UNICEF program in 1955. Over the decades, the campaign has raised nearly 200 million for UNICEF's efforts to provide crucial supplies like milk, education, and health care to children in need. In recent years, keeping Trick or Treat for UNICEF relevant to the digital age, it now incorporates online platforms and QR codes to make donating easier for kids and families. In 1891, Captain Joseph McPhee placed an empty crab pot at the Oakland Ferry Landing in San Francisco. McPhee secured permission to place a brass urn at the Oakland Ferry Landing and added a sign that read, "Keep the pot boiling," to collect donations for meals for the poor. The effort was successful, raising enough money to provide the holiday meals, and the idea soon spread across the country, becoming the iconic Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign that continues today. The first organized toy drive campaign began in 1947 with the establishment of Toys for Tots in Los Angeles, California. The idea for the charity came from Diane Hendricks, who had crafted a doll and asked her husband, Marine Corps Reserve Major Bill Hendricks, to find an organization that would distribute it to a child in need. When Major Hendricks was unable to find a charity, his wife encouraged him to start one for himself. Impressed by the pilot program's success, the Marine Corps Reserves adopted Toys for Tots as a national campaign, and it continues today. The campaign theme became the name for the foundation as well. The Operation Christmas Child campaign was started by Franklin Graham in 1993 as a project of Samaritan's Purse to send the gift filled shoeboxes to children affected by war in Eastern Europe. The idea was prompted by a request from a man in England for assistance in providing gifts for children suffering from a civil war. Since 1993, more than 232 million Operation Christmas Child gift filled shoeboxes have been distributed to children in more than 170 countries and territories. A fun fact to know and tell is that the $5 bill donors provide in each box provides a significant contribution to the annual funding for the organization's mission to provide aid around the world, in addition to the Christmas programming. Now for a more contemporary annual campaign. The Giving Tuesday campaign was started in 2012 by the 92nd Street Y, a cultural and community center in New York City, with support from the United Nations Foundation. The initiative was created as a global generosity movement to counter the consumerism of Black Friday and Cyber Monday by encouraging people and organizations to give back and build community. Now, we have to be transparent in that while making everyday people more aware of the needs of nonprofits during the holiday season, which is really important, Giving Tuesday actually dilutes the brand awareness of the organizations who use it to solicit funding. To make our point, look at this photo and tell me the name of the nonprofit that is represented here. It's an on campus nonprofit organization at Stanford University. The point is this: the energy, money, and promotion used to encourage your donors to participate in Giving Tuesday is, in our opinion, better spent on a direct content, annual fundraising campaign of your own. A branded campaign that engages your target audiences and donors to come alongside your cause. With that in mind, let's look at how a lasting fundraising campaign generally fits into your organization or ministry's funding model.